Introduction to Marvel Rivals. What if you could step into the shoes of your favorite Marvel hero, not just to fight evil, but to experience a chaotic, adrenaline-pumping battle where every move counts? Marvel Rivals promises just that, but does it deliver? Imagine being thrown into a world of endless combat, where the lines between friend and foe blur with every corner you turn. This isn't your typical hero versus villain game. No, this is a brutal, fast-paced 6v6 showdown where strategy and sheer chaos collide. You'll fight not just for victory, but for survival. And the stakes? Well, they're higher than ever. It's free to play, yes, but don't let that fool you. What awaits is more than just a mindless battle. It's an arena where decisions are made in the heat of the moment. The characters? Well, they're not just your usual superheroes. Here, you'll find yourself teaming up with some of the most iconic figures in Marvel's universe, each with abilities that can turn the tide of battle in an instant. From Iron Man's explosive blasts to Spider-Man's acrobatic strikes, the action is relentless. But here's where it gets interesting. It's not all as simple as it seems. The true question you'll be left asking yourself is, how long can you survive the chaos? Marvel Rivals doesn't hold your hand. It throws you into the deep end, and it's up to you to master the mayhem. From the moment you pick up the controller, you're immersed in a world where everything can change in a split second. Characters clash, abilities explode, and the environment feels like it's designed to overwhelm you. And yet, it draws you back in. It's messy, it's chaotic, and yes, at times it feels almost impossible to keep up. But as you start to get the hang of it, as the sweat starts to pour and your fingers move faster than your thoughts, you realize something. Despite the madness, despite the chaos, there's something thrilling about it, something that keeps you coming back. But why? What is it about this game that makes you want to dive deeper? Maybe it's the rush. Maybe it's the feeling that you're never truly in control, but you still manage to make it through the
storm. Welcome to Marvel Rivals, a place where every battle leaves you questioning what's next. But are you ready to answer the call?
The gameplay, fun but chaotic. Step into the chaos. In Marvel Rivals, the battlefield is anything but calm. Picture this, a 6v6 arena where every corner hides a new threat. Every second could change the tide of battle. And your team's survival depends on your ability to keep your cool in a storm of explosions, powers, and non-stop action. It's the kind of game where strategy is essential, but the frantic pace makes you wonder if you'll ever truly have time to think. From the moment you hit the start button, you're thrust into the heart of a relentless, high-octane firefight. The gameplay loop is simple enough. Defend your areas, defeat your enemies, and push forward. But as the game unfolds, it's clear that simplicity is a trap. What you think will be a straightforward fight quickly devolves into chaos, and that's when the fun really starts. The goal isn't just about holding your position or blasting enemies. It's about adapting on the fly and finding creative ways to turn the tide of battle. You're not just running around shooting enemies with a standard weapon. No, in Marvel Rivals, every hero has their own unique abilities, their own way to turn the battlefield into their personal playground. One moment you could be firing off Iron Man's repulsor blasts, the next you're dodging a portal opened by Doctor Strange that sends you hurtling across the map. It's a game that constantly forces you to react, to think on your feet, and, to adjust your strategy based on the characters around you. The beauty of the game lies in its unpredictability. You could be charging forward with your team, eyes locked on the enemy's payload, when suddenly, a series of explosions rips through the air, throwing you off course. 1 minute, everything seems to be going according to plan, and the next, you're surrounded by enemies from every direction, and yet Despite the overwhelming chaos, there's an undeniable thrill in it. It's messy, yes, but it's also incredibly satisfying. For some, the overwhelming nature of the gameplay might feel frustrating, especially in the early stages. Getting a handle on the controls, learning the best way to use your character's unique abilities, and understanding how to cooperate with your team, it's all part of the journey. At first, you might find yourself constantly getting knocked out of the fight, your efforts feeling like they're in vain. But then, something clicks. You start to learn.
Only 60 seconds left.
You begin to understand the strengths and weaknesses of the heroes at your disposal. Maybe you realize that while Iron Man is a powerhouse at long range, Hulk's raw strength is unbeatable in close combat. Perhaps you start to master the art of positioning, learning when to hold back and when to rush in. The key to Marvel Rivals isn't just in how fast you can kill, but in how well you can adapt to the ever-changing battlefield. Each hero has a deep well of abilities to master, and the more you play, the better you get at pulling off powerful combinations and making your team's strength shine. But that's where the fun and the mess collide. While learning, the ins and outs of the characters can be rewarding, it can also be overwhelming. In the heat of battle, it's easy to forget which abilities work best with your teammates, or when it's the right moment to unleash your character's ultimate move. The screen is constantly flashing with action, heroes charging, enemies firing, and the battlefield shifting with every new wave of combat. It's chaotic, and at times it feels like you're just another piece in a constantly moving puzzle. But somehow that chaos works. You'll have moments where everything falls into place, a perfectly timed combo, a well-executed strategy, and when it happens, it feels nothing short of exhilarating. Sure, there will be times when you'll feel like you're drowning in the madness, but those rare moments when you and your team come together to pull off something spectacular, they make it all worth it. It's easy to get lost in the chaos of Marvel Rivals, but that's where the thrill lies. There's no guarantee that every match will go smoothly, but that's what keeps you coming back. The endless potential for chaos, the constant opportunities to learn, adapt, and overcome. It's not about perfection. It's about the journey of figuring it all out, even as the world around you descends into chaos. So, are you ready to dive into the mess? Because, in Marvel Rivals, that's where the fun truly begins. Character variety and skill development. In Marvel Rivals, the character roster is a vast, colorful tapestry of the Marvel Universe, each hero offering a completely different experience. Whether you're swinging through the air with Spider-Man, launching devastating attacks as Iron Man, or smashing through enemies with the raw power of Hulk, there's no shortage of heroes to choose from. Each character is a unique puzzle to solve, with their own set of skills, tactics, and playstyle. And the best part? They're all available for you to experiment with. But here's the catch. Mastering them isn't as easy as it sounds. Take Wolverine, for example. He's a powerhouse with his sharp claws and healing factor, but understanding when to strike, when to retreat, and how to best position yourself in the heat of battle requires more than just mashing buttons. With Wolverine, timing is everything. His mobility can take you to the thick of the action quickly, but to truly excel, you need to learn the ins and outs of his combos, how to chain attacks, and when to use his regenerative abilities. It's a character that demands focus, skill, and a bit of patience. But when you finally get it right, the feeling of slicing through enemies with perfect precision is nothing short of exhilarating. Then there's Iron Fist, a hero whose combat style is as fluid as it is deadly. His martial arts techniques are a joy to master, but getting his timing down, learning to use his chi-powered attacks effectively, and understanding when to unleash his ultimate can take time. It's a different kind of power than Wolverine's, brute force, but just as rewarding once you've figured out how to sync up his abilities with the chaotic nature of the battlefield. And let's not forget about Winter Soldier. With his mechanical arm and expert marksmanship, he's a character that requires precision and strategy. At first, he might seem like a straightforward shooter, but the real depth comes from using his environment, positioning yourself for the perfect shot, and syncing up with teammates for devastating combos. Like Wolverine and Iron Fist, the more you play, the more you uncover his hidden potential. What starts off as basic shooting quickly evolves into a dance of strategy and execution. A hero who, if played right, can become a game changer. But It's not just the characters themselves that make Marvel Rivals so captivating, it's the skill ceiling. For some characters, the barrier to entry is relatively low, allowing new players to pick them up and start having fun almost immediately. But then, there are others. Characters like Iron Fist and Winter Soldier require a level of mastery that will take time to perfect. You won't be able to just jump in and dominate right away. But therein lies the beauty of the game. There's a real sense of progression. The more you play, the more you understand your hero's intricacies. And when you finally master them, the rewards are immense. The feeling of pulling off a flawless combination of moves or making a game-changing play with a perfectly timed ultimate ability is nothing short of satisfying. This brings us to the learning curve of Marvel Rivals. At first, the game might feel overwhelming. So many heroes to choose from, so many abilities to learn, so much chaos to deal with. But as you spend more time with the game, you begin to understand how each character fits into the larger puzzle. The more you experiment, the more you realize how to use each hero's strengths to your advantage. It's a game that rewards persistence, that teaches you through experience. And while the curve might be steep at times, it's that sense of growth that makes Marvel Rivals so engaging. With each new hero, you're faced with a new challenge. Do you want to play as a tank, soaking up damage while your team deals with the heavy lifting? Or do you prefer the finesse of a ranged character, picking off enemies from afar? Perhaps you're someone who thrives in the middle of the action, weaving through enemy lines and landing devastating melee hits. The variety in Marvel Rivals ensures that every player can find a hero that suits their style, and every hero offers something fresh to keep you coming back for more. So, which hero will you choose? Will you master the clawed fury of Wolverine, harness the mystical power of Doctor Strange, or become the unstoppable force that is Hulk? The choice is yours. But no matter who you pick, Marvel Rivals promises a deep, rewarding experience that will have you coming back for more. The question is, are you ready to dive in and unlock the full potential of these legendary heroes? It's impossible to dive into Marvel Rivals without mentioning the elephant in the room, the inevitable comparisons to Overwatch. Both games share the same core DNA. They're 6v6 hero shooters, full of dynamic abilities, flashy combat, and a chaotic sense of action. So, is Marvel Rivals just a copycat of Overwatch, but with Marvel characters? The short answer, not exactly. But the long answer is a bit more nuanced, and it's definitely worth exploring. Yes, you'll recognize certain familiar elements, characters with unique abilities that can shift the tide of battle, a fast-paced, objective-driven game mode, and the essential teamwork required to win. If you've spent any time in Overwatch, the core mechanics of Marvel Rivals will feel comfortably familiar. Characters like Soldier, 76, in Overwatch, and Punisher, in Marvel Rivals, share the same basic role of providing sustained damage from a distance. Similarly, both games feature characters that excel in close combat, like Reaper in Overwatch and Wolverine in Marvel Rivals. But here's where the Marvel twist comes in. While the gameplay elements may have roots in Overwatch, Marvel Rivals doesn't simply rehash them. The abilities that each character brings to the battlefield are deeply intertwined with the rich lore of the Marvel Universe. Take Doctor Strange, for instance. His abilities in Marvel Rivals aren't just your typical teleport from point A to point B mechanic. Instead, he can create portals that transport you across the map, adding a layer of strategic depth that is unique to this game. Imagine opening a portal to surprise an enemy or retreating to safety at a moment's notice. It's a mind-bending mechanic that truly sets Marvel Rivals apart from its counterparts. Then there's Groot. Sure, you've seen tanks and support characters in other games, but Groot's ability to create massive walls of foliage is something that immediately makes you rethink traditional strategies. These walls aren't just barriers, they're tactical tools, shifting the battlefield in real time. Suddenly, your team's positioning takes on a whole new layer of strategy. It's not just about defending, it's about controlling the flow of combat in an innovative way that Overwatch never quite explored. Now let's talk about the cool factor. One of the most exciting aspects of Marvel Rivals is how these characters' abilities make the game feel like you're stepping into a Marvel comic book. Watching Iron Man soar through the air, unleashing his repulsor blasts, or seeing Venom and Spider-Man team up for a symbiote-powered attack is every bit as thrilling as it sounds. These iconic moments from Marvel lore are brought to life in a way that feels both familiar and fresh, adding a layer of excitement that's hard to find in other hero shooters. The action is fast, furious, and filled with surprises. And it's not just about flashy moves, it's about how these abilities change the way you play. But the question remains, how do these abilities affect the gameplay in practice? Well, that's where things get interesting. While it's easy to assume that these abilities are just fun visuals, in Marvel Rivals, they're deeply tied to your strategy. For example, Iron Man's ability to fly and unleash ranged damage feels satisfying and impactful, but knowing when to fly in for a devastating attack or stay grounded to defend your team is what separates an average player from a great one. And that's what makes Marvel Rivals stand out. The characters' abilities are not only visually stunning, but also crucial to the gameplay's tactical depth. So no, Marvel Rivals isn't a direct copy of Overwatch. It's a hero shooter that takes inspiration from its predecessor, but it doesn't shy away from adding its own unique spin. With Marvel's iconic characters and abilities, Marvel Rivals crafts its own identity, while still maintaining the fast-paced, action-packed excitement that Overwatch popularized. The abilities may be familiar, but how you use them and how they change the course of battle is what makes Marvel Rivals worth exploring. The real question is, how deep does the strategy go with these abilities? How much can you exploit the environment and your teammates' powers to create the ultimate synergy? These are the questions that will keep you coming back, wanting to dive deeper into each hero's potential. And as you unlock new characters, new abilities, and new ways to play, you'll find yourself drawn into a game that feels both familiar and entirely new. So, is Marvel Rivals a copycat? Not quite. But it is one heck of a ride. And who doesn't love a good Marvel adventure? Team-up moves, the unique selling point. What makes Marvel Rivals truly stand out? It's the game-changing, jaw-dropping team-up moves that bring together the most iconic heroes and villains in Marvel's universe. These aren't just your run-of-the-mill combos. They're powerful, over-the-top abilities that can flip the entire game on its head, turning the tide of battle in an instant. If you think you've seen it all, think again. Marvel Rivals introduces a unique twist on team-based gameplay that's bound to leave you stunned, and it all starts with these incredible team-up moves. Picture this. You're in the heat of battle, dodging incoming fire as your team holds the line against a powerful opponent. Suddenly, you and a teammate, say Venom and Spider-Man, decide to combine your powers. Venom, with his symbiote abilities, bonds with Spider-Man, giving him a massive boost in strength and speed. The result? A deadly combination of quick attacks and devastating damage that has the potential to wipe out an entire squad. It's not just about individual power anymore. It's about synergy. The moment you and your teammate execute one of these moves, you'll feel the satisfaction of perfect coordination, a dance of power that only the most iconic superheroes can pull off. But it's not just Venom and Spider-Man who get to play together. Imagine Hulk and Iron Man, two heroes with completely different approaches to combat, joining forces. Hulk's brute strength and Iron Man's technological prowess come together in an explosive combination that can obliterate anything in their path. When Hulk uses his raw power to launch enemies into the air, Iron Man swoops in to fire his repulsors at the airborne foes, finishing them off in one perfect explosive sequence. It's a moment that feels earned, a payoff for the chaos and mess that makes Marvel Rivals so thrilling. These team-ups not only look cool, but they're also powerful enough to shift the momentum of a match, making them one of the most satisfying aspects of the game. What makes these team-up moves even more exciting is the sheer variety of combinations. You can't help but wonder what kind of unique pairing you'll try next. Will it be the fast-paced teamwork between Wolverine and Storm, or perhaps the unexpected synergy between Captain America and Black Widow? Each combination brings its own flair to the game, and it's the potential to discover these new pairings that keeps players engaged. Every time you enter the arena, there's a chance to experiment, to unlock new ways to play, and to create combinations that suit your personal style. The real excitement of these moves lies in their unpredictability and the tactical advantage they offer. It's not just about who has the strongest attack or the most powerful defense. It's about knowing when and how to combine your abilities to gain the upper hand. There's an art to executing these moves effectively, learning when to trigger them, how to position yourself and your team, and how to create the perfect moment for a devastating combo. The best team-up moments are those where everything clicks into place, where you and your teammates work together to create something truly spectacular. But here's the catch. The game doesn't hand you these powerful team-up moves on a silver platter. They require coordination, timing, and a deep understanding of each character's abilities. It's not just about pressing a button and watching the magic happen. The best team-ups are those that are carefully planned, where each player knows exactly when to activate their character's unique powers to maximize the effect. And that's what makes them so rewarding. When you pull off a successful team-up move, it's not just a win for you, it's a victory for your entire team. Of course, not every team-up move is the same. Some require you to work closely with your teammates, while others offer a more passive synergy that enhances individual abilities. Some are fast and furious, while others are slow-burning, building up to a powerful crescendo. But all of them have one thing in common. They feel amazing to execute. There's a sense of triumph in every team-up move, whether you're catching an opponent off guard or executing a perfectly timed combo. The best part? The game keeps you on your toes, constantly teasing new possibilities. Every time you enter the fray, there's a chance to discover new team-up moves that change the way you approach the game. Marvel Rivals doesn't just let you play with your favorite heroes, it lets you explore new ways to make them work together in ways you never imagined. So, what are you waiting for? There's a whole universe of team-up moves just waiting for you to uncover. The question is, what will your next great combination be? Visuals, sound, and polished experience. Marvel Rivals isn't just about fast-paced action and intense gameplay. It's about experiencing the world of Marvel in a way that feels immersive and satisfying. From the moment you step into the game, you're greeted with visuals that are as smooth as they are striking. Every frame is packed with detail, bringing the Marvel universe to life with explosive intensity. But it's not just about how things look, it's about how everything feels. And in Marvel Rivals, everything feels right. From the moment Iron Man takes flight to the moment Hulk smashes his way through enemies, the sensory experience is nothing short of mesmerizing. Take Iron Man, for example. When you soar through the skies, blasting enemies with his repulsors, the movement is fluid and seamless. There's no jittery animation or lag. It's as if you're really flying through the air, each turn and roll feeling natural. The thrusters on his suit leave behind a trail of light, emphasizing the power and speed behind every move. And when you land that perfect shot, the feedback is instant and satisfying. The visual effects of each blast, each hit, feel impactful. It's a game that makes you feel like you're actually inhabiting the suit, making every moment of action feel like a true extension of your character. But it's not just about the characters, it's about the world they inhabit. The environments in Marvel Rivals are rich and detailed, from futuristic cityscapes to rugged battle zones. The lighting, the textures, and the dynamic elements of the environments create an atmosphere that makes the gameplay feel alive. Every explosion, every punch, every wall that crumbles under the weight of Hulk's fists adds another layer to the world's authenticity. You're not just fighting in a static environment, you're interacting with a world that reacts to your every move, making the experience feel far more immersive. Then there's the hit detection, one of the most crucial aspects of any shooter. In Marvel Rivals, every shot, punch, or blast you land feels spot on. Whether you're firing off Iron Man's repulsor beams or Wolverine's claws are tearing into an enemy, the hit detection is precise and it delivers instant feedback. This isn't the kind of game where you'll miss your target by a mile because of bad detection. The feeling of a successful hit is satisfying. The enemy stumbles back, and you can feel the weight of your attack. The immediate visual cues. The enemy reacting to your move, the glowing effects, reinforce this sense of impact. It's a crucial part of what makes the gameplay feel polished and rewarding. The sound design in Marvel Rivals only enhances the experience. The soundtrack pulses with energy, driving the tempo of each match and amplifying the excitement of every battle. But it's not just the music, it's the sound effects. Each character's attack has its own signature sound, and it's immediately recognizable. Iron Man's repulsor blasts ring out with a satisfying hum, while Hulk's ground-shaking punches echo with deep, bone-rattling force. The sound of Doctor Strange opening a portal feels as mystical as it looks, with a swirling, almost otherworldly tone that signals the power behind it. These sounds aren't just cosmetic either. They're a key part of how the game feels, helping you anticipate incoming threats and giving you the necessary cues to react. The sounds of footsteps, reloading, or abilities charging up all serve to build tension and immerse you further into the battle. It's this combination of sensory elements, visuals, hit detection, and sound that creates a polished experience that's hard to ignore. But it's not just the core mechanics that shine in Marvel Rivals. It's how these details work together to enhance the overall experience. The smooth animations, the rich visuals, the precise hit detection, and the dynamic sound design all come together in a symphony of action that feels immersive, satisfying, and exhilarating. Every time you land a shot or execute a perfect move, it's not just about the victory, it's about how every part of the game clicks into place. This seamless blend of visual, auditory, and tactile feedback makes Marvel Rivals feel like a fully realized Marvel experience. It's not just a game where you're playing as your favorite heroes. It's a game where you're living in their world, feeling the power of their abilities, and immersing yourself in every moment of action. The experience is polished, fluid, and engaging, keeping you hooked from the moment you start playing. With every explosion, every character interaction, and every moment of combat, Marvel Rivals makes you want to dive deeper, to experience just a little more of what the game has to offer.
The attention to detail in the visuals, sound, and overall feel of the game is what separates it from other hero shooters. It's not just about playing the game, it's about experiencing it on a whole new level. And once you get a taste,
You'll find yourself coming back for more, eager to uncover every new visual effect, every new sound, and every new way the game makes you feel like you're living the Marvel fantasy. The battle pass and progression. Hit or miss. In Marvel Rivals, progression is more than just a matter of grinding through levels or completing missions. Instead, it's all about completing daily and weekly challenges, which, while offering rewards, introduces a system that's sure to spark debate among players. It's a system that feels familiar to those who've played mobile games or free-to-play titles, and it might raise a few eyebrows. Is it a good way to keep players engaged? Or does it detract from the core experience? Here's how it works. Instead of simply progressing through gameplay by defeating enemies or completing objectives, Marvel Rivals rewards players for completing specific challenges. These challenges range from things like getting a set number of kills with a particular hero, achieving specific team objectives, or participating in special events. While this system certainly gives players a clear path forward, it also shifts the focus away from just enjoying the game and places a larger emphasis on these repetitive tasks. The more you play, the more you'll find yourself checking off boxes. And while that can be satisfying in its own right, it can sometimes feel like you're ticking off a list rather than truly immersing yourself in the action. For some, this daily grind can feel mobile gamey, like the type of progression you'd expect from a smartphone game, where you're incentivized to log in every day, check off your tasks, and claim rewards. It's not a bad system by any means, but it can feel a bit mechanical. You're playing Marvel Rivals to have fun and experience intense battles, but the focus on completing challenges can occasionally overshadow the core thrill of the game. It's hard to shake the feeling that you're not playing for the sheer joy of combat, but rather for the next reward. But here's where the system redeems itself. Despite its potential drawbacks, the rewards tied to progression are substantial. Skins, unique items, and even new heroes are all up for grabs through the Battle Pass. These rewards add a layer of excitement, giving players something to work toward, and not just cosmetic items. Some of the skins are visually stunning, offering rare variations of your favorite characters that can truly make you feel like you're stepping into an alternate universe. It's a nice touch for players who are invested in customizing their experience. Moreover, the challenges themselves aren't just mundane tasks. Many of them are tied to special events or moments in the game, like completing time-limited objectives or jumping into certain limited-time modes. These challenges keep the game feeling fresh and offer incentives to jump back in, even after you've gotten comfortable with the core gameplay. And while the grind can feel repetitive at times, the sense of accomplishment you get from unlocking new rewards and advancing through the Battle Pass can be satisfying, especially when you see how it changes the look and feel of your favorite characters. But the question remains, is the Battle Pass worth it? Does it enhance the experience, or does it ultimately overshadow the fun of the game? While there's no denying that the Battle Pass system offers valuable rewards, it's not without its flaws. The grind can feel taxing, especially for players who just want to enjoy the action without constantly checking off challenges.
And for some, the system can take away from the feeling of earning something through actual gameplay. Instead, it feels like you're being nudged to play in a certain way, the game telling you what you need to do to progress, rather than
allowing you to simply enjoy the chaos of the battlefield. And yet, despite its somewhat formulaic design, the Battle Pass has its merits. The rewards are rewarding enough to keep players invested, and the sense of progression, however mechanical it may feel, does give you that satisfying sense of moving forward. But at what cost? Does the grind become too much of a focus, overshadowing the immersive Marvel experience Marvel Rivals offers? As you play, you might find yourself weighing the balance between the grind and the fun. Is the Battle Pass rewarding enough to justify the time spent ticking off tasks? Or does it risk becoming an obstacle to truly enjoying the core gameplay? The answer may depend on how much you value customization, skins, and rewards over the pure thrill of the battle. In the end, Marvel Rivals offers a unique experience with its Battle Pass system, and whether it's a hit or miss is ultimately up to you. But one thing's for certain, it's a system that keeps you coming back for more, always pushing you to complete just one more challenge, and that's something the game has down to a science. The final verdict, is Marvel Rivals worth your time? So, is Marvel Rivals worth your time? After diving deep into its world, the answer is a resounding yes, but with a few caveats. Let's start with the positives. The gameplay is an absolute blast. The fast-paced, chaotic 6v6 battles are a thrill, and the diverse roster of characters from across the Marvel universe ensures there's always something new to try. From Iron Man soaring through the skies to Wolverine slicing through enemies with his claws, each hero offers something unique, giving you a wide range of playstyles to experiment with. And let's not forget about the team-up moves. These aren't just flashy combos, they're the heart of the game's appeal. Watching Venom and Spider-Man team up for a devastating combo, or Hulk and Iron Man combining their powers to wreak havoc is pure magic, a visual and strategic delight that keeps you coming back for more. On top of that, the polished visuals and satisfying sound design make the game feel immersive. Every hit lands with precision, every ability feels impactful, and the attention to detail in the animations and sound effects adds another layer of excitement to every battle. It's a game that knows how to make you feel like you're truly a part of the Marvel universe, with each fight more intense and rewarding than the last. But of course, no game is perfect. The Battle Pass system, while offering some cool rewards, can feel a bit repetitive at times. The grind can get a little mobile gamey, and for some, it might detract from the enjoyment of the game's core mechanics. Additionally, while most of the character designs are spot on, there are a few that feel a little off-brand, characters that don't quite live up to the iconic Marvel standards we know and love. Despite these imperfections, Marvel Rivals still delivers on what matters most: fun, exciting gameplay, and a truly unique Marvel experience. And the best part? It's free to play, meaning you can dive in and experience it for yourself without spending a dime. So if you're a Marvel fan looking for an action-packed, team-oriented shooter, Marvel Rivals is definitely worth your time. Give it a try, see what you think, and maybe you'll discover your new favorite hero. After all, with a game like this, the adventure is just beginning. And the best part? It's all up to you.